here with Matt Leinart, former USC NFL quarterback, national champion, Heisman winner, long list of accolades there, and Fox Sports analyst. Matt, Notre Dame week, college football season's at its peak. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's still early in the week. I imagine a little later in this week, the nerves will kick in a little bit for the SC Notre Dame game. I try not to get too emotionally invested in these games. This one feels big because it is. You know, it's a playoff elimination game for Notre Dame, so there's a lot at stake for them in this game, and probably essentially for USC too. I know if they lose this game, they still have a shot. They win out, but that schedule's pretty tough. But it's a huge week. This week in college football, the slate is great, but it's always fun when this game just means something, right? I mean, Notre Dame has dominated this game really what feels like the last decade, right? So there hasn't been a ton at stake for the most part, other than just the rivalry and trying to beat that opposing team. This year it's different. There's a lot at stake for both teams, which I think amplifies this game even more.
And you mentioned the Irish have kind of had the Trojans number the last decade plus. What do you think has sort of been at the root of that, and what makes you think maybe Saturday can be different?
Yeah, I mean, you just look at USC over the last 10 years. We've just a lot of ups and downs, and we've haven't been able to win at the line of scrimmage. That's what you kind of hear all the time. It's just not a really physical football team over the last 10 years. Just haven't been, right? And you can point that to a lot of different things. Obviously, staffs have changed. Recruiting has changed. I think we're on the trajectory. College football landscape has changed with NIL and the portal and all these things. There's so many different factors that go into building a team now. We just haven't had a toughness in this program for a long time. And that's, Pete Carroll, we had it, right? There was a toughness, there's a culture, there's an accountability, and that's kind of been missing. I think we're getting that back. I believe that. Last week's win was a huge win for the program. Whether win or lose this week, that can kind of help, gain some momentum as far as like, hey, this is how we can play, and recruiting and all those things. So yeah, I think it's just an overall physicality and toughness that USC hasn't been able to show week in and week out. And this year, it does feel a little bit different. And this is just another huge opportunity, like every Saturday, to go out there and prove that you can do that. Right. And that's what you're going to get from Notre Dame. And they got to be ready to play because Notre Dame's really good.
And you're no stranger to big games and this rivalry, this being the 20-year anniversary of the Tush Push, which is extra special given Saturday's game. All these years later, what are your lasting memories of that play and just that famous game?
Yeah, it's just one of those that, stays with you forever. It's one of the great memories that I have of being a USC Trojan. I talk about, the Heisman Trophy a lot, and people always ask me like what that means. I said, gosh, it means so much more as you get older, because as you get older, you appreciate more things. I think you appreciate your time with your kids. You appreciate waking up and being able to get to do whatever the things you get to do, right? Because life is so short. I think you have a greater appreciation for that as you get older. When you're 22, 23-year-old, just kind of living in the day and, flying by the seat of your pants, so on and so forth. So like I've had a greater appreciation for the Heisman and what that's done for me and what that means on a bigger scale. It kind of goes the same with USC and my memories and the Notre Dame game and winning a national championship and getting to celebrate all those things with my teammates over the years, and to look back at 42, to look back 20 years ago and say you're a part of one of the great rivalries in college sports. You're part of one of the great plays, right, with the Tush Push, and that kind of name lives on forever, So super grateful. It was a great time. And I enjoy this week every year because it always gives me a chance to talk, whether we won or lost, it gives you a chance to talk about some of the great memories that I had.
Do you ever get any comps to the Tush Push? Obviously, it's a different play.
Well, we started it. I mean, we started the Tush Push. So we started that, and it's funny. I think Reggie had a same play with Matt Stafford in Detroit where he kind of pushed him across the goal line. This was 8-9 years ago, probably at least. So we joked about that. But yeah, I mean, we were the original. We're the OGs. We're the OG Tush Push, and they're called the Tush Push, which we got to change the name, or we should eliminate the play altogether. One of the two.
Yeah, that's its own argument right there.
I know.
It really looks like Jayden Maiava is joining just the latest string of really talented USC quarterback lineage, of course yourself included. What stands out to you about his game?
Just his growth and his work ethic. I had a chance to talk to him this year and just to see see the growth from a year ago where we got that small picture the last handful of games, and we're like, okay, kid's young, he's raw, he's inexperienced, but he's got the talent. You can kind of see it. And to see just the jump that he's made in a full year and a full off season with Lincoln, it's been tremendous. And even in the loss against Illinois, he was making some throws in that game because we were there. I was like, holy crap! Like this kid he's just locked in. I love his humility. I think that's a strength of his because it allows him to be coachable. It allows him to really be a sponge and learn and want to be the best. And I can't say enough of good things about him. He's a great kid. He's humble. He's quiet. He wants to win. He's a great leader. He's all those things. He comes from a great family. So he's just one of those guys you really want to root for. And all that being said, he's a tremendous talent too. And look, you win this game, you're right back in the Heisman mix. Your team is a playoff contender. Like there's a lot like this is a great opportunity for him on the road this week against a really good team.
And Makai Lemon has really been a valuable weapon for Jayden just in the strong season he's been having. As a former quarterback, can you just talk about the value of having a do-it-all weapon like that and just sort of what you've seen from Lemon?
I had guys like that, so I know firsthand. I had Reggie and Lindell in the backfield, two of the best. I had Dwayne Jarrett, Mike Williams, Steve Smith, Kerry Colbert. The list goes on. Like I had just great players. Makai is a stud. God, he's so good. Like he's tough. He's so tough. He's got a great IQ. The way he just has a feel. He reminds me of Kerry Colbert. They're different. But Kerry was probably the smartest guy in our huddle every time. His football IQ was off the charts, right? Like he just knew the game. He had a feel for the game. Like Travis Kelce has this feel for the game, right? That like sometimes you just like you can't teach those things. Like that's the way it feels like that Makai. He plays at a different level. He's a great player. He's going to be a great pro. And he's been huge. I think Jayden would be the first to tell you, like, you got a guy like that, him and Jacoby Lane, and just all the weapons they have, it makes his job a lot easier.
And you mentioned what the Heisman means to you now, and you just alluded there, if Jayden has a big game this weekend, could be right back in the thick of things. At the halfway point of the season, who would be your Heisman pick?
Gosh, yeah, this is the craziest year I've seen because preseason it was Arch and it was Nussmeier and it was Carson Beck is still in there, but it's all these guys, and now it's Fernando Mendoza, right, who's had a hell of a year. Ty Simpson at Alabama, those are the two I think, and Carson Beck I think Fernando Mendoza probably is the guy, undefeated, just went on the road in the biggest game of the year and probably was the biggest game, the biggest win, and just torched Oregon. He's been flawless this year, and probably not a lot of people really know who he is, but he's there. I think Ty Simpson has been just so good for Bama. Some of the throws and the plays that he's made, the last couple of weeks, and again, he has so many of these big games coming up on the schedule. So I think those two right now are neck and neck. And look, Fernando Mendoza is on a collision course with Julian Sain to Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. The winner of that, one of those guys might win it. So it should be fun.
Oh, yeah. And I know I saw on Twitter that you said last week the Michigan game was an opportunity for USC to kind of prove that strength in the line of scrimmage, and you alluded to the hard schedule coming up. What kind of momentum can a win like that, and like you said, kind of proving something, making a statement that you can win up front, kind of do for the team down the stretch?
It's just a confidence booster, right? It's just like all you hear is this narrative that you're soft and you're not tough and you can't win at the line of scrimmage. And like coaches hear that, but the players hear that too, right? That's a reflection on them, whether it's their fault or not. Like as players, you hear these things. So to beat up a team like Michigan, who I don't know how they're going to finish, but it's still a really good football team, and it's a team 2 years removed from winning a national championship, right? That team's pedigree and DNA is running the football, tough, line of scrimmage, all that. And we beat them, USC beat them at their own game, dominated both lines of scrimmage. So it's a game that you can go back and say, like, guys, we can do this. Like, this is, if we play like this, we're capable of that. We could play with any team in the country. That's the belief, and that's a fact. It's just the consistency of which you can do it. That the great teams, week in and week out, play at a high level, and they're not a great team yet. They're a really good football team that's got a shot. But if anything, you should walk away and see like we can do it, guys. Like that's how we can play. It doesn't matter who we play. So again, that can go a long way. And again, they just got to go out and prove it.
That consistency week to week, like you said, I think that's what separates the The goods from the greats. And I understand you're working with Abbott in the Big Ten Conference for the We Give blood
Yeah.
drives. Can you tell me a little bit about that campaign?
Yeah, so this is my second year working with Abbott in this campaign, and it's been really awesome. I mean, Abbott's been great to work with, and again, there's a blood shortage in our country, so this is a campaign and a blood drive to really combat that and attack that. And last year, this campaign saved about 60,000 lives. So far, we've saved over 110,000 with just donations halfway through the season. One donation can save up to 3 lives. A person needs blood every 2 seconds. There's some really crazy stats, like alarming stats involving the blood shortage. So what is it exactly, right? So it's a kind of a competition, kind of a campaign to get, alumni, students, fans for your school in the Big Ten to go donate blood. And the winner, the school that wins, Nebraska won last year, wins $1 million to advance student or community health, right? So there's a lot of incentives. There's weekly competitions, there's prizes. There's a lot of ways sort of to get involved and to create an incentive for your school. Big10.org/Abbott is the website. That's where you can kind of get all the information, where there's blood centers near you. How do you upload your, validation of a donation? So it's a really great campaign. Abbott's been amazing to work with. Again, this is the second year that I've been able to do this with them, and obviously we're over 100,000 lives saved so far just by donating blood. That's all you got to do. So whether it's for a family member or someone that you know close to you, or for your school, show that school spirit. Get out there. I got my USC shirt on, rocking for USC. We did not do very good in this last year, so I'm encouraging all my USC people to go out there and do it. So again, big10.org/Abbott, and that's where you can kind of find all the information if you want to move forward with it.
That's awesome. Certainly a worthwhile cause, Matt. Yep. And last thing I just want to ask you for is a prediction for Saturday's game.
Oh gosh. I don't have a prediction yet. It's a little early. It's a little early. I got a lot happens during the week where I formulate an opinion. Maybe there's weather. I don't know. I think this is. I will say this. It's going to be a close game. USC has to start fast, and I know that sounds. They have to play from a lead with this. They have to have Notre Dame continue to chase points. We cannot get down. I think you can't get down 14-3 or 21-7. You just can't do that because they are so good offensively, and they're so balanced. So I know that didn't answer your question. I will give a prediction at some point this week. I'm not ready to do that. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's going to be a great game. And then just like the stakes, I think it just makes this game, just so much more fun this year.
Yeah, I'll look out for it. Should be a bit of a shootout in South Bend. Matt, thanks again for the time.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.